Hello, 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 hello. Welcome,
Hello.
everyone.
Hello.
Hello, how's
Hello.
everybody?
We are at episode 5 of Awesomebility. Welcome
Bye.
back to our show. This is Amin here from Popcorn, and we have with us Nini, Adelina. We also have our special guest today. We'll get our special guest to introduce himself later. For those of you who are watching us for the first time ever, welcome, welcome, welcome. Give us some love, give us some like. We are now live in LinkedIn, Facebook, and also our YouTube channel. If you're tuning in and seeing this, go to the comment and say hi to us. And wow, got bell ringing. Siapa tu? Nini ya?
Yeah.
Kantor Nini. So yeah, just say hi to us in the chat, right? If you're and also at the same time, let me just do like a quick context set. What is it we're doing today? Today we are going to be talking about how we can keep our personal brand relevant. Okay, and we have like a very special guest today, and this special guest is someone that I've been like, dia ni kira my idol lah. Because whenever I've been hearing him on radio long time ago, okay, love his energy, love his enthusiasm, right? So we'll introduce JJ after a bit after this. But before that, just want to do a quick introduction on what we do, who we are. My name is Amin. I'm the CEO of Popcorn. Popcorn stands for Popular Content, and what we do is that we help entrepreneurs to build their authority on LinkedIn. And besides me, myself, and I have Nini and Adelina to co-host the session today as well. So I'm going to pass the mic to Nini. So Nini, do a quick intro on
Thank
yourself.
you. Thank you, Amin. Tak sabar ni sebab I want to get the conversation going, right? So,
Betul.
hi again everyone. Thank you for watching Awesomebility On Air episode number 5. I'm super excited because I have a friend and also an expert, right? From the personal branding, from the authority building world. So again, my name is Nini and I am the founder of Ministry of Marketing Asia, and I have with me today my partner in so many things and also in crime, Adelina Adna, who is the Chief Creative Officer of Ministry of Marketing Asia. So Awesomebility is a collaboration between Popcorn as well as Ministry of Marketing Asia, and we are bringing to you content as well as learning on personal branding and digital presence. So like I say, or like Amin said just now, we have a special guest with us today. We know him as JJ HITZ FM, right? Cuba ketawa JJ.
Sorry, nama penuh JJ HITZ FM. Oh my god.
JJ Fernandez, dia punya nama JJ HITZ FM dulu, barulah JJ Fernandez, right?
Tahu.
But JJ,
Nama-
pass it over to you.
My name
Talk
changed
more
many
about yourself.
times. It was just JJ once, then it became JJ Hits Cruises, and then it became JJ and Rudy Gotcha Call, and then it became JJ Ian Gotcha Call, and then it's just JJ kat Red. And banyak nama, but JJ was the constant that has been around for the longest time. And yes, my name is JJ. I've been on radio. I was on radio for 17 years in Malaysia, and that's a long time. I know a lot of people thinking like 17 years. That's almost 2 decades. Yeah, betul. So in other words, I'm the person your mother knows. So everybody calm down. On top of that,
Aku
what do I-
mother
that's it. Mother
That's it.
knows lah. So
Exactly.
Wonder.
It proves the point, Nini.
That's
It's a
why you're the
people's
best
support.
guest today for this topic because you transcend
Yeah.
time.
Exactly. and what else do I do now? I do a lot of things. One thing I do marketing and promotions on the side. Who do I work with? These people who are friends, who are CEOs, who normally call me like, bro, I need you to come in and help my marketing team. They cannot come up with an idea for blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, I go in and help them out. That's what I do. Other than that, I created an app where anyone can start their own radio station. It's called Radio, RADIOOH. You can do your own radio show from your phone or your tablet or your computer, and people can tune in. And last but not least, I own 2 of these laundries. That's why I'm in the laundry, if you're wondering. Which, yeah, cool. So itu is in a nutshell.
Nice. Okay. Clear out. Okay. So
Very
JJ,
clear.
quick check on this. Your own view on what personal branding is.
My own view on personal
Yes.
branding, simple.
Just yeah.
I'll relate to something that I'm very used to. which people know me for, which is I used to work in radio, so therefore music. Okay. Now, what is personal branding? If I say Michael Bublé, you have a personal branding of what kind of music image and everything he got, right? If I say Linkin Park, you have that already in your mind, right? That is personal branding. So that as soon as your name is mentioned, all the thing that you want to be associated with is associated to you without you having to explain.
Mm. Mm.
And that's personal branding in a nutshell.
Okay. In a nutshell. Okay, so I think go straight to the point now, because I think today we are talking about how to stay
Sorry, I turned off the light because just now it was too bright. Now you can see my face. Okay, go.
perfect. So we were talking about how to keep our personal brand relevant. You've been around for like 17 years, right?
Yep.
And just like
Yep.
what Nini said, like what you said, moms knows you, right?
Legend, bro, legend.
You got to get a legend now. That's what it is, right? So how do you become legendary?
How
Maybe
do
we'll
you
start
become
with that.
legendary? First,
Okay.
I've said
Have a
this in
killer laugh.
so many. That helps. That helps, of course. And you cannot hide with that killer laugh. But also, what's very important is realizing who you are. So realizing who you are is the most important thing when it comes to personal branding. Because if you do not understand who you are, what you stand for, your own personal image, in other words, I keep telling people, go look in the mirror, understand who that person is, and then work with that. Because if not, you start following trends. You're trying to go, oh, this trend is hot, so I follow this, or that one, I follow that. Eventually, people cannot attach your name or your brand to something. It's very kuchakache, and nobody knows exactly who you are. So how did I do it is I understand who I was, but that doesn't mean I cannot go with the times or adapt with the times. When I say adapt with the times is when I started off, the music is one kind and then it moved on to another. But the core values, the core understanding, the core messages and the core everything is always the same. So as long as you understand that and you can go with that and adapt it to your own style, if you can do that, it'll be good. Adrina, hello. She said hi, so I say hi, Bali. So anyway, so the idea is you have to understand your core value, stick to your core value, and make sure you anchor that down well. All right, and then explore everything else as well to see what you can adapt to your style, adapt to your image, and then go forth with that. Because a very important thing when it comes to personal branding is if your brand is strong and your identity is strong, you will attract that kind of people. You'll attract the right kind of people. But if your identity is all over the place, your attraction to people will be all over the place as well. And your fall off rate is very high as well. Because people might join you for one thing and then eventually you change style and people like, don't want to follow him anymore and then gone. So you have to identify who you are, keep to your core value, but adapt with the times. And that doesn't mean you cannot do that. So I hope that explains it. I talk a lot.
Okay. I'm like, whoa, where to start?
A lot of sharing. No worries.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, let's see now. Okay, I think maybe we'll do this, right? If there is like any advice for those who are just starting, right?
Can.
And people who are like right now, maybe they are entrepreneurs or maybe they're just in their own fields of expertise.
Yep.
And they are basically trying to figure out what their personal brand is. What are some of the good advice or tips that you can give to these people?
Okay.
Mesti good tau
So-
JJ, mesti good.
Is it good now?
So
You're the legend.
it's the crazy part is this. I keep telling. I've got a lot of kids who come up to me. Hey, I don't know what to do when I grow up. And then a lot of people say, do what you like so you won't work a single day in your life. That's the line that you always hear, right? So you always hear that line. But my explanation, my definition to that is slightly more different. If you are in a job or a field, and when a problem arises, you're the person who go, all right, time to solve that problem. Let me figure out how to do this. I've got the expertise to solve that. You're excited when problems come about, all right? That's the 100% feel you're supposed to be in. Because work is mundane repetition of the same thing over and over again. Even marketing, no matter what, is a repetition of the same thing over and over again. But when there's problem solvings and new things that comes up, and you are excited for it, that's what you're supposed to do. Now, you have to identify all those things, all the little things that make you you, your what you're good at, what people say about you, the good and the bad. Identify all this, and then build that brand, because that's your foundation already. So solidify that foundation to a point where if people are saying that about you, and if you agree that that's what you want people to say about you, solidify that first, then build upon that. I hope that explains it. Get it?
I'm curious. I'm curious to know more about your own process, as because when you started like 17 years back, right? I'm sure it's
Gila.
not easy to find yourself,
Okay.
right? It's a gila, kan? Like,
When I first joined radio, for the first 6 months, I didn't know who I was. That's the truth. I tried to imitate all the other DJs that I admire, Rick Dees or Fly Guy, and this is good. So I tried to adopt all their styles. But the problem was I didn't have my own identity. I became eclectic, a lot of things. Then I realized, wait a minute, I'm not attracting people. People are not understanding me well. But then I went, okay, let's sit back and see who I am. So what am I good at? And people were saying the laugh and all that. That one, it was lucky lah. It's a lucky break. I was born with a laugh. So anyway, but my style of comedy, my style of telling stories and stuff like that, people were saying that. So I'm like, okay, cool. Now what do I do next? So I went to the people I looked up to, that want to learn, rather than asking them how they did something. You did that, very cool. How you did that? I don't ask that question how. I ask why. Why did you do that? Then I get behind the psyche of it. Why did they do that? The idea behind coming up with concepts or promotions or gimmicks. So if you understand why, then you can adopt your own style and create gimmicks that suits you rather than copy someone else. So the first 6 months was just finding my own footing of who I am. Then I solidify that, and then I slowly built from that to a point. Now people look at me, they understand. Even dressed like this in the laundry, no one questions it. It's like, JJ, he's crazy. Stupid things happen around him. So biarkan. So you know what I mean?
got question already.
On air directly from Adobe. Yes, this is my own laundry. Ikwan, I own 2. It's a franchise. I've got one in SS15, one in Damansara Perdana. And the reason why I'm here is, even though I've got a staff who does the job, it's a self-service laundry, but also it's a laundry where people can come and drop off their clothes, and my staff will do it for you. Okay, so there's an added element to it. But the reason why I'm here is to put a face to the shop, rather than having it a cold building and a service. It's a face and a personality, or someone that you can attach yourself to and go, I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with him. So therefore, I'm coming back to that. So the prices in the shop is not the cheapest in the world. Neither is the most expensive. It's around the same price range as everything else. The only difference in my shop is me. So I use that. And that's why I'm coming live to you from Adobe. Yes.
Okay, but you brought up something that's really powerful. Even for your own particular business right now, you do not have to be there, right?
Yeah.
You can
I don't
basically
have to.
just allow the laundry to self-sustain on its own.
Correct.
But you make a decision to become the face for the laundry. So I'm curious to know, why do you need to? Is that the way to do it today? Is that really
It's-
really necessary?
It is really, really necessary. You everyone watching right now, even all of you, your decision making when it comes to things you want to buy or do or something is always attached to an emotion of someone. I like that person. I like what they stand for. I like their meanings. So there's an emotion to it. So me as a person, a personality has built that connection with a lot of people. So why not capitalize with that? I'm not saying I'm abusing that power. I'm just saying I have that. Why not use it? So I'm using it now. So that's it. I made that decision because I wanted to put a face to the shop. Now, the first 6 months I was here every day. Actually, the first 8 months I was here every day. Now I'm slowly not distancing myself, but allowing people to understand that I'm here up to lunch. After lunch, I'm gone. All right, because I've got other work to do. I do other things as well, like I mentioned. Then eventually, because I've got two shops, I got to go ulang alik from either shops, and then so people understand that this is part of the shop. Uh, this guy put his heart and soul into the shop, so therefore, whoever is working for him and with him should put in the same kind of passion, and I should be able to get the same kind of passion and same kind of service from the people working under him. So it goes without saying, and I don't have to explain that over and over again. We keep the shop clean, but people know that I like cleanliness, I like good service, I'm always on time. So I've already got that brand. So I just attach it to whatever else I'm doing as well.
I like that, JJ. I like that very much. I think what you are talking about, right, is like an alignment of your personal brand and also your business brand, which is your
Yep.
laundry, right?
Yep.
What I'm
Yep.
seeing there is accessibility. You know how there are so many businesses that it's sometimes it's almost impossible for you to meet the founder, the owner, right?
Right.
But
Right.
with your personal brand, kan, so I know you as this person who is kind, who is vulnerable, who is always willing to help. Who, when I say vulnerable, right, you are authentically vulnerable because
Hold on one
of
second, guys. Hold on 1 second, Continue talking. I'm listening.
I love this interview, man.
Yeah. So I
Real
think
life.
I think what's awesome there, right, is accessibility. That when people know JJ, kan, and how he engages with people, and immediately people, saying what JJ have just said, that okay, kalau I datang to any of the laundry, whether it's at Damansara Perdana or Subang SS15, right, the probability of me meeting JJ and hang out with him there, and he says it many times, right? I think that come, let's have teh tarik with me, at my laundry, and come, let's have a chat with me, and you even have your live stream, right, from your laundry. So accessibility, JJ, I like that. I like the spillover of your personal brand and indirectly build like a USP, because bukan semua orang ada kedai owned by a legend, right? And
Correct,
then ada
correct.
Semua
access
orang ada
point
JJ.
tu.
So the word here is the Venn diagram. So if people don't know what a Venn diagram is, please go Google it. You'll understand the two circles. Two circles always interthink. Figure out how you can work in that space. Okay,
Sweet spot.
give me 1 second. Suddenly I need to tolong seorang. So just give 1 second. I know I'm not supposed to do this. I'm so sorry. 1 second. Come.
Okay, so you guys would able to see JJ in action helping dia punya customer
Sorry.
doing
Okay.
some laundry.
No.
But I think that's
it's
the way
this.
the way branding is nowadays, right? You don't have what I really love. What is different is how authentic everything is. Like JJ is still like going out there and doing his stuff.
Yeah.
Of course.
But I think JJ, I think you've seen this a lot throughout the whole 17 years you've been around, right? I don't know if you remember those times when people, when it comes to creating content, they only for companies, for example, they only focus on one corporate video, right?
Yeah.
I just do one corporate video and I think that's it. That's my marketing for the whole entire month, for the whole entire
Sorted
year.
already. Yeah.
Yeah, but is that really true today? Because I know that there's a lot of people out there, they have this excuse when it comes to creating brand now. The excuse is, I have no time. So therefore, I'll find someone else to do my branding for me, right? Or I'll just do I just hope for one content to solve everything. Your thoughts on this? Yeah.
I think that's a horrible thing. Now, I'm not saying do not hire people to take over that responsibilities. That's 100% yes. That's how the economy works. That's how you build your brand. That's how you build your business and becomes further when you find the right people to fall into place to do all the work. All right. So it's very important to have that, but you also have to not micromanage, but oversee a bit and then make sure they have the same values and understandings of where you stand, so that then you can let go your hand and grow it. I give you this. When I was in an agency, I remember I was a creative director for this agency, and we went to see a client, and it was the client and their marketing manager. And the this client was a F&B outlet. All right, it was an F&B outlet, and they were talking about promotions and stuff like that. I'm like, cool. Listening to the marketing person talking. I'm like, okay. I just asked one question, and the boss, the owner, was smiling and go, yeah, okay, I understand. But the marketing person looked at me like, what the heck are you talking about? And like, what are you saying? I don't understand. My question was, if your company, your shop, your F&B outlet is a person, what do they look like? The reason why I asked you that image is because if you can image your company as a person, so in other words, it's young, energetic, wears cool things, and down with the gadgets and all that, then your business has to show that. Your business has to be exactly like that. You can't say I'm light and easy and act like hits. I hate to use radio, but you know what I mean. You cannot do that. You got to identify your brand and understand it. So I asked the marketing person, and the marketing person was like, "I don't get. We're an F&B. What are you trying to say?" I'm like, and then the boss started laughing because the boss is like, "I can draw you the person I am, the company's supposed to be." And then I'm like, "Good. Now you got to teach that to your marketing person so that now when that marketing person understands that, every promotion or anything they want to do will relate to that image. It won't lari dari that image because they already understand that. But most people don't try to identify the core value of things. My hands move a lot. Sorry, I'm Italian.
Very animated.
Yes, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that's.
I think that's really valuable because when you say, imagine your business was a person or an individual. Who is that person, right? How would that person look? How would he or she look like? I'm gonna call Popcorn
And
She from now on. Then
seriously, how does that person look? How does this person act? Who do they hang out with? Because that is the people you're gonna attract. The exact people that you are, you're gonna attract those people. So be that person.
nicely put. Adelina,
And
any
I
question
think
on your side? Yeah.
Yeah, and once JJ said that, like, oh, be that person you want to attract, you're gonna attract that person. I know in Nini's head, it's gonna like, yeah, exactly. So guys, customer avatar, you
Yes.
know, your customer avatar. Why it's so important in branding, whether it's personal branding or business branding. Why it's so important, and a lot of people are like, oh yeah, why need to know the customer avatar? I want to sell to everybody, which you can't. Even as a person, you can't be everybody, right? So it's the same with the brand. You need to have a specific type of person. And for some of Nini's businesses, I know that her customer avatar was her. So it's very easy. I just talk like me. And I always, when I go out and do like training and everything, and I say, what about, or if I do, consult people and say, your brand voice, what is your brand voice? It has to come from a person. So it doesn't matter who your marketing manager is or who the person is that's handling your social media or handling the business brand or going out, that it has to be the same voice. So
Correct.
sometimes, right.
Yeah, it's like if you go to any designers or anything, they always ask, "What's your CI? What's your corporate image?" Everything's supposed to say the same font, the same this, the same, because it's an image that the brand holds. So if you look at Maybank, because I worked with Maybank and all that, they have that that dots with that line and the specific font, the specific color. Why do people do that? Just because as soon as you see it, like if you want to do it, if like an audio based thing, like when on radio last time we used to have specific sounds or sound effects for specific things. So eventually I don't have to say time for gossip. I just have to play da 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 or something like that. Everybody, gossip time. I didn't have to tell you anymore because I've conditioned you to understand what is needed and how to interact with me. So teach your audience how to interact with you. You have to slowly. It takes time, but put all these elements that people understand.
Exactly. And saying that, the sounds, right? Not the sound of your background, but the sounds that you put on radio. Now different branding, the sound in the background. But it also made me think, remember, how Academy Fantasia, all of the participants will have like a word,
Mm.
Kasih gegar dia. Then you know who specifically that person is, or mantap, or whatever it is that they say, right? So that is like also a very one of the ways that they really branded each participant to be uniquely them. It's like, okay, what is your tagline basically? So after every performance, they get taught, okay, say your tagline. So after every performance, they go and say that tagline. You're like that person, and then everybody starts having banners and all these things and hashtags that go with that.
Because you see, when you do that, you allow people to be a part of your organization. That
Mm.
little, you allow them in. All right. So if they feel that the organization is very cool, they want to be a part of it, they go in. Like big brands like Nike, just do it. Everybody like, hey, just do it, lah, bro. Nike. You know what I mean? But
Mm.
it's already associated, so it's very important to have all that. Now back to something Adelina said earlier, like you cannot attack everybody, you got to attack a specific group, but by attacking a specific group you can attack everybody. How? That specific group trusts you so much, their group that circles that overlap, they'll go, hey, check this out. I know you don't know anything about this and you're not attached to this, but this is really cool. I trust it. Come in. Then that fold grows. So you've got to be specific and then find a target audience and then grow from that. So when I go back to radio, like I give you, each station has a target market age, which would be for hits, I think it's 11 to 18 or something like that. That's the age. But they give a leeway of 5 years both sides of extra things that they will pull in. So that's the target. So you have to have a target and the inner circle, the bullseye that you want to hit, and the outer circle as well, of what you want to hit, and then the rest of the world lah.
Love it. So basically, there's always the bullseye, and then after that, the outer circle, and all that.
Correct.
Brilliant,
So
brilliant.
you got to focus on the bullseye. You
Okay,
gain the bullseye first, and then you will attract all the rest. 100%.
okay, okay.
Good one,
So
JJ.
good one.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead,
Mm.
Nini.
I just wanted to expand a little from what JJ said just now about sound. I guess many people often forget that we are human being, right? Consumers are human being. So when consumers are human being, right, we have our other senses. Kan? It's not only listening, it's not only visual. There are so many things. There are some companies, some brands actually use
Mm.
smell as a way of creating a message or creating an identity. Kan,
Somebody
there are
keep
certain
on.
hotels. There are certain hotels that does that. There
Yeah.
are certain individual that does that. Uh, in fact, in Malaysia, there is a brand, brand smell, something like that. Guru, her name is Dr. Wendy Liu. She's quite big as well on LinkedIn. Kan? So yeah, think of a human being, right? Think of who your avatar is and how you can fulfill the senses of being a human being. So
Correct.
I like that very much, JJ.
Correct. Like I give you this. You're so tired. Everybody thinks puasa time already, right?
You know the azan is coming after that, man.
Do you see how powerful that is? Do you see
Yes,
how
yes.
powerful that is?
The
And
placement of that specific ad, you're like,
it's
all right, guys, get ready. It's
Yeah,
time.
it's so
exactly.
powerful. So you have to think of it like that. Think of human nature, and don't abuse human nature, but play with it. You know, what I mean, that
Mm-mm.
is what you're supposed to do when you want to attract people. You got to see like-minded people, try and pull them into your circle, and then
Mhm.
do that lah.
Yeah, brilliant. I just want to do like a quick chat with those who are watching us on LinkedIn right now. There's quite a lot of you guys. Just want to say hi to Ikwan, Adrina, and if you do, guys, if you have any questions, you can just type it in the chat. Right, JJ is here to answer any of the questions that you have.
I will
And
try.
by the way, JJ, yes, we are going to go back to why we are here today. Okay, so we talk about how we started, how you started, right? The important question now is how do you maintain and still stay relevant for the last 17 years? Because you've been to a lot of transition, not just one radio station, a lot. Okay, so yeah, what's your secret tips for this? Yeah, go
You
ahead.
you want you want a secret? Actually, all of
Uh-huh.
us got at least. I mean, lucky enough to might have someone who actually knows the secret. All right, it's your parents who's been married for the longest time. Because marriage is work. You don't just get married and then done. Okay, okay. So is your brand. Your brand is work. Times change. You have to adapt with times, understand the requirements when it comes to the change. Uh, Identifying your flaws. Moving with what your strengths, and growing as an individual or a business by doing all that, constantly having a check, constantly going up to people. So how am I doing? Am I okay? What's up? What's new? What would you like to see to improve? Don't be stable and then cukup, or else you'll end up like Nokia. Now, if Nokia comes up with a phone, everybody will be, oh, so nostalgic, so cute, but you don't come to your mind, whoa, that's the forefront of technology. But at one stage, Nokia was,
Yeah.
and then they stopped. They like, tak apa,
Yeah.
I'm strong, I don't have to do it already, and then they're gone. All right, now if they come back, which they tried, it's nostalgia, it's cute, it's no longer forefront of technology. So for them to go back to that, they have to invest a lot more rather than investing on sustainability. So a lot of people now go, I do not want to invest in sustainability because I'm comfortable. That's when you go down. So the more you grow, the more you have to invest on your sustainability when it comes to marketing, word of mouth, and putting yourself out there. All right. If you think you're comfortable, I'm the market leader, tak de. If you like TND or telecom, then no other competitors, I understand. All right. But if you're not, you constantly have to remind people, yo, I'm here. You have to do that. And it's and you have to like doing that. Okay, I am relevant is because I like talking, I like interacting, I like finding out from people, and I do that often. Okay, when the customers come in, I chat with them, anything different, they can come to me, hey, the smell slightly different. I'm like, okay, let me check on that. And I do that constantly. And for them, they feel like, wow. And I listen, seriously, someone come up to me, hey, slightly damp lah my clothes today. I'm like, oh, what happened? Everything was normal. Yeah, okay. Never mind. The next time, wash free on me. They're like, no, no, no. I'm telling you just because I want to improve. No, no, no. I'll do it because no, 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 no. So do this thing with them so that they feel like, wow, this guy is listening to me. This shop is listening to me for my needs. Therefore, I'm going to go back there because if I go to somewhere else, they're going to like, I'm just going to be another customer. Here, they treat me like a person. So you have to understand that the power of treating people like human beings and give them a bit of credibility, they will come back to you. So same thing when it comes to branding and stuff like that. Like I like that you address that the people in the crowd watching and all that. I It's very important to go. Thank you so much for spending your time and watching us talk, because you could be doing other things, but you chose to do this, and we appreciate you for that, really. And I really appreciate questions, because sometimes I do not know what I know until I'm questioned about it, and then I go, oh, okay, this is what I know in the subject. So it's a two-way street. So sometimes when you watch things like this, live feeds or whatever, if you have the opportunity to ask, because that's the best place to grow and help the people speaking to share more, because they might have a plan, but your question could skew them to something bigger.
JJ, I want to
Yeah.
ask, right? In the 17 years being in the industry, kan?
Yep.
So if I were to ask you, what is the two biggest challenge of you, you know, because let's face it lah, your industry is exposure, your industry is being upfront always,
Mm.
your industry is staying relevant, kan? So to have all that, what was the biggest challenge, you think?
Biggest challenge. I go back to what I started, knowing my brand, knowing who I am. Until the day I left radio, I used to listen to my show. I used to listen to my show every day after I left, until the day I left radio. Even now, even my own shows, I listen to it again. I listen to it as in I'm a listener, not the person presenting, because I want to see whether my content goes through. All right. Now, from there, from there, the hardest thing is fine tuning the art and getting better at it. Because trust me, there's going to be a part that everyone plateaus. Now, how do you pick yourself up or peak or get better from that? So when you notice yourself plateauing, using the same words and not changing, you have to actively go, oh, something is wrong, or something is stagnant. Now I got to do other things to make it grow. So that was the hardest thing, to identify my flaws. to constantly look through my flaws and identify my flaws and move with the times and grow. That was my toughest part. So back to what you're saying, being relevant and all that. If I'm good at what I just said I am, I constantly change. Now you will continue listening to me. I am already relevant, because you go start coming back to me as the point of reference for maybe gossip, stories, whatever, because you like the way I do it. Now I'm going to always go back to that guy, because that is my point of reference. And that already, your market share, you've got the market share. And that market share will grow, because if you are so strong, these people will start broadcasting to others too. This is a better one, and then it grows. So it goes back to you identifying your flaws and always improving. Did my internet die?
A
No,
little
we
bit.
kind of like lost
You're
you
back.
for a while.
You're back. That's most
You're back
important.
though.
Did my internet die on y'all?
Yes,
Just for a
Don't
couple
worry,
of seconds.
Small gap.
don't worry.
Did my internet die on y'all? My
Yes,
internet
yes.
died on y'all, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Just because suddenly I saw all of you looking so intent and not saying a word when I finished talking, I'm like, oh, something is wrong.
Yeah, good
I
students.
don't know
Good
where I
students.
stopped.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question. Okay, the question
Shoot.
is, um,
I'll go
I'm
after
very
you, Anand.
sure there's a lot of people that actually have this conversation, and this happens a lot to my students as well. Too much work, lah, JJ. Do I really need to do all this branding stuff?
Yeah.
your conversation to all this. So, how do you? Your advice to this group of people?
My advice to them, why don't you want a 9 to 5, but you want a gig economy? Because you want I want to earn my own money. What I work, I get. Correct. So same thing when it comes to brand lah. What you put out is what you get. The lesser you put out, the lesser you get. So what's so hard to understand? If you don't do lah. But
Yeah.
don't expect to get any returns from it lah. It's like, look, I got a seed, I put it in the ground. Tada, it's going to grow. No, you got to layan it, pour water on it, monitor it, make sure insect don't bite it, prune it, then it'll grow. But if you just biar, you'll die. So up to you what you want to do with your seed lah.
Elon Musk pun kena ada personal branding kan.
Betul.
Yeah.
Betul. Even Elon Musk has missteps. And then people, and then he has to regroup, understand what he did wrong, grow from that, change. It's a constant battle. Will Smith, wow, terror, then slap Chris Rock, everything changed. Then he has to restep, rebrand, appear again,
So-
do all that. It's if Will Smith have to do it, who the heck are you? Sorry, I'm sorry.
So, continuity question from that, right? So I think
Betul.
I'm gonna go. I want to know your drive on this, right? What's your drive?
My-
JJ?
my
17
drive.
years, man. Yeah. What's your why in this?
I like talking, JJ cakap, and I like laughing.
It
I think it's
helps
more
that-
than talking. I think it's more than talking. I think it's something
No,
else.
it helps that I like talking. It helps that what is my core thing that I live for is ideation. I love people giving me problems and creating ideas and stuff like that. So when I was on radio, is they give me a topic, I creating ideas and how to discuss it and expand the topic into different elements to it. That was my core thing. So I identify my core, what my joy was, and I kept doing that. So no matter what, like even this now, laundry, how can I find joy in it? I found different ways how to fold clothes, make it fast. I found different things to make the business grow, adding little elements because I'm like, what else I can add to my supply? It's the ideations. What else I can do? I can do live videos from here because I've got the internet. So that is my drive. And last but not least, the most important thing that driven me from the time I started until now is my family. It's I want to do right by them. So that's it. That's my simple answer.
Just basically finding the
Nice.
why. There you go.
Yeah.
Nice
Yeah.
one.
Finding the why.
Living the passion, man.
Really passionate. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
I
very
have a-
sure
I-
in you. Yeah, go ahead, Adelina. Go ahead. You
Sorry.
go first.
Sorry, I mean,
I
sorry.
got
I mean.
another one.
I have two questions actually. One, well, let me hopefully I remember the second question, but the first question, the first question, it goes back to when you say, talking to people in finding what they need, what to improve, and all these things. So then there's also that fine line, right, where you are when customers, they have so many wants, so many requests, so many needs, so many ideas for improvements. So how do you find that balance of your personal brand and
Yeah.
filling the needs of your customers or your audience?
All right.
Question
Okay.
number one.
So here's a weird thing. I also do training on presentation, as some of you know of this. One of the things I always say is preemptive thoughts of what people will be asking you. So what I do, like I said, I sit back as a listener and I listen to my show and see whether the message comes through. What I'm doing is what I do for businesses and stuff like that. I preemptive on things that might be a problem, might or something they might want to ask, and they want me to improve. I preemptive that. I sit down and constantly think of things that, okay, maybe they'll need this. Why would they need this? Because me as a customer in a laundry, I would need this. I would like this. So I list down the things that I would like to see as a customer down, and then when a customer comes and brings that up, justifies the thing, that's the lowest hanging fruit that people want that to solve. I solve that quick. All right. So I do that improvement based on my wants and needs as well as my brand. So I've got this brand that I want, but also as a customer, when I see this brand, what else would I need from it? Maybe I'll need this, and then I improve, and that's how I grow. Does that answer your question?
Yes, somewhat. Because sometimes you, when you're, especially when you have your brand, right, and then people will give feedback,
Correct.
or
Correct.
they'll give comments and things like that. So some, some people may be like, oh, okay, the customer said they want this one. Okay, I changed this one. This one was like this. Oh, then I changed this one. So there's that
Correct.
tendency out there where,
So
people go like, oh, but this one, oh, everybody doing TikTok, I need to do TikTok, but your customer may not be on TikTok, something like that.
correct.
So, but no, everybody's thinking, oh no, but I have to do that. Then you're jumping everywhere, and then losing you tend the risk, of losing the brand essence.
Hundred
So
percent.
how?
So that's why I said at the start, you do the questioning as a customer. That means you are the brand already, right? Now you're the brand, but then you also can be the person as a brand buying the brand. You know what I mean? What do I want from this brand that I know is my brand? Going, oh, I need this. And then you list down those things. And then if a customer brings that up, you know already it's aligned. That means, oh, what I'm thinking is what the customers are thinking as well. But if the customers bring up stuff that is not within your list, you go, let me put that aside, KIV, and keep an eye on that and see whether it makes sense. But the one in your list is the priority because you looked at it as a customer first. Don't look at it as a business owner. You look at it as a customer because you want customers, you want people to buy into your thing. So yeah, you got to look at that, and you have to actively actively monitor it, change it, move with it, but don't just follow trends. Like you, 100%. You said the TikTok. I didn't go onto TikTok until recently. And the reason why I went on TikTok is because suddenly I wanted to do short form content. The place that people go for short form content is TikTok. Then I'm like, okay, let's just do short form content because people say, why don't you start a YouTube channel? I don't do long form anymore. I I I don't
But you
feel
can
like
do
doing long.
YouTube Shorts now.
I do a lot of shorts. I know that YouTube, that there's YouTube Shorts, but like I said, so more people are on TikTok, but that might change because YouTube is slowly changing their uh, how much they're going to pay out to people. So YouTube might be the thing to, if you want to use it as earnings. But I'm not using it as earnings. I'm using it as to get my brand out, my word out, and myself out. I'm not using it as a source of income. So my what my needs are very different. So that's why I focus on TikTok. Doesn't mean I cannot explore YouTube Shorts and do other things. I just get comfortable with one first, and then I expand to others.
I guess that's
Awesome, yeah.
clarity, right, JJ? That's clarity.
Yeah.
Clarity of clarity of where I want to be and the
Yeah.
reason for it. Kan? And
Correct.
I realized that, I realized something about you today, JJ. Your mental model, right,
Very
is
different.
a lot about context and purpose. It's the reason why I do something. That other context and other purpose, and that's how
Yeah.
you act, right?
Yeah.
That is something that I learned about you today.
The crazy part is I've always done that. Even on radio, ha 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 was context and purpose. The gotcha calls. What's the context of the gotcha calls? I want to see how people fight for their rights. Teaching other people's, if someone throws you bad news and you have the right to stand up for yourself, stand up for yourself. I know it was entertainment, but the context of the gotcha calls is people standing up for their rights. Do you have? If I say that out loud now, then suddenly you're like, eh, you tak you. But it was funny, you know what I mean? But the mode of how I did it was different. It was funny, but the context of it is highlighting people standing up for their rights. That's the truth.
And it's as simple as that. It's not as complicated, right?
No,
Okay,
it's not.
it's not. Okay.
People overthink things. People overthink things. Oh, I need to get a customer here. How about I do this, do this? Sometimes it's the most simplest answer is the answer. Like one of the things I'm contemplating for, not for this shop, because I already have uh, cafes and stuff close by. You know, a lot of people say, why don't you put vending machines and stuff? I'm like, it's pointless because I've got neighbors who does that as a business. I just rather work with them. But my Damansara Pradana has lesser businesses around that have that. So maybe I might provide free coffee in the morning. So you come here and wash, you get free coffee. You know,
Right.
simple things like that to just improve on what else I
The
can provide.
experience.
And
Right.
but it's different. Like I said, this shop I'm not going to do it, but the other shop I would because of the customer base. I understand my customer base, and you have to do that. Doesn't mean I think my customers here don't need coffee. I think they do, but I don't think they would rather go and lepak at a mama store than have a coffee because I don't have tempat duduk here that much. And because there's abundance of coffee shops and cafes and mama stores around here, they would prefer to do that. But over there, tak ada, so maybe they need that. So that's why I'm like, let's figure out what else I can do. But
And I
what
love
I'm
that you
trying,
mentioned,
yeah, what I'm trying to contemplate to do here is actually I'm trying to figure out how I can put up a free gaming machine, like something to kill your time, just like a arcade or something like that. But tak bayar, you come and just play. I let you use it for free. So it's something for them to do while kill time, rather that they don't have here access already. So that's what I think about. I always look and think how I can improve based on my customers.
Right. Okay.
Nice.
One more question.
Shoot.
Because we're talking about relevance and all that, right? I'm very
Yes.
sure that as you are growing in terms of your own brand, you meet with a lot of the other seniors radio DJs,
100%.
right? And then you also have
yeah.
the newbies that comes into the market. How how do you find let me rephrase this. How do you stand out in comparison to the rest? That would
What's
be
your
because
USP? What
yeah.
is your USP? My USP is you go to that flirt, he will be funny, he'll crack jokes once in a while, he's honest, and he has a crazy laugh.
Mhm.
That's my call, more or less. All right. I'm honest. I no holds barred. I just talk. I throw in jokes once in a while, and I got a crazy laugh. That's what people can expect, no matter where I go. All right. No matter what station I'm speaking at, no matter what, that's the core brand that already my USP, and people
Mm.
like that USP. So, and it's not fabricated. Okay, whatever I just said, it's me personally. I took time to identify myself, and I
Mhm.
use it. The
Mhm.
problem with people nowadays, or newer guys, they think they've got to put on a persona or create something, and then suddenly it becomes a job to maintain that persona, and then you don't like it already.
Mm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
just being me. I just like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's not tiring. But if you
Right.
created a persona and you have to maintain that persona, that is tiring.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the persona thing. So that I have students that comes to me and say, "Hey, you know what? I put this persona. People don't like me, lah. They talk about me. That now they're receiving like backlash and all that. You've been in the field for 17 years. Your advice to this group of people, what would that be?
All right. Um, uh, that persona that you have, um, what's people saying about that persona that you created? Is it like, are you an abrasive persona? Are you?
Example, eh? I
Yeah.
can give example. So, um, you have like a group of people that's very cheerful, and then they are like happy-go-lucky, and then they decided to go on LinkedIn, for example, where
Okay.
most of the people there are like pretty much professional.
Serious.
It has to be like a certain way of doing things and all that, right? And this person decided to go all out and just say, you know what, this is just me. This is how I do things. When I
Cool.
go out there and do my work, you will meet exactly the same person as who I
Yep.
am, right? But then you
Yep.
will receive like backlash at the end and say, hey, you should not be doing this on LinkedIn, right? This is not the way to do it. Okay. So
Right. So
your
so
advice
you're
for this
you're
group of people,
stepping
yeah,
out of the normal box that people place you in. Okay. Have you
exactly.
heard of this name Gary V?
Yeah,
Is he out of his box?
of course.
Is he talking to CEOs and all that crazy things? Has he
Hmm.
always been like that? Yes. When he started, people were saying the same things about him. Like whatever I post now that is very inspirational, no one is paying attention. But maybe in the future I become successful. Suddenly those words like, oh my God, it's the same words. Just bide your time, stick to your gun, and then eventually people will see your worth. That's all I can tell you. You cannot force people to change, but people will if they see that is the actual you, not a fake imitation happy-go-lucky drama. If it's really you, then stick to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I guess
that,
that's
that
very important kan JJ.
yeah,
That is
yeah,
like consistent.
Yeah.
That's why Gary Vee masih guna dia punya content when he started his wine shop up till now kan, like side by side saying like
correct,
the same thing, only like different time lah, different
correct.
10 tahun,
And,
different
Yeah.
decades.
and he's showing people like I said it last time. You didn't want to listen. Now listen to me. You know what I mean? So don't be afraid to stand out. Okay. A lot of people, the Coach Carter line, the what's your biggest fear? My biggest fear is not that I'm inadequate, but it's that I'm more than adequate. I shine, but I'm afraid to shine because my shine might make other people feel uncomfortable. So therefore, I dim myself. Don't do that. Your shine might help other people to shine as well. So shine as bright as you can. If people can't accept your shyness, let them look away. Eventually, they learn how to buy dark glasses and look at you. Okay, so their eyes will adjust, but shine as bright as you can. Okay.
And I'd like to add to that, right? About the, just doing, the content, and like Gary V, reusing his content or repurposing his content, right? Because sometimes that same information, um, the same person who looked at it before and didn't resonate with it might resonate with it the second, the third, the fourth time that you put it out, because
Yeah.
people grow, people change. So
Yeah.
that might be the exactly the thing that they were looking for. So instead of changing for them,
Yep.
just continue
Okay. Hold on a second.
holding.
No. I forgot to tag something. I forgot to tag something. So my stuff's big. Sorry. Still work. I'm at work, lah.
Thank you so much for saying yes to us, JJ.
No.
Yeah.
Anytime. You,
It has been awesome, and I hope that we will be seeing more of you as well in
Mhm.
Awesomebility, right? And we'll chat. So people do stay tuned, right, with what's coming up. Because I already busy to JJ. Hey JJ, come lah join us at Awesomebility. Come lah join us, JJ. Macam tu kan. So
and
so stay
and
tuned, people.
and ask if you ask anybody who've ever tried to contact me. I do reply, sometimes slow given, but I do reply. I'm not so sombong with my knowledge. I don't mind talking, but I rather talk to people who are genuine, who really have a good question and not afraid to ask the question. So just get in touch with me anywhere. If you see my one, I put JJ on air because most of my social is JJ on air. But this one is JJ Fernandez 480A. Someone by number 29. But apparently I can change that to make it like normal.
You
But I will
can,
do it.
you can
I
change
will.
that.
So it's obvious I haven't done it. Um, and people says you need this because you're doing this. LinkedIn is very important. I do believe I do need it, but at the moment it's not a priority of mine. I don't know why. I know some people will be like, shh, especially popcorn, like, wait, that's our job. We're getting people on LinkedIn. Nonsense. Shut up, you. No, but at
Nanti
the
kau kena
moment,
tangkap dengan
uh,
Amin. Nanti
at the moment, it's
aku pun
not
kena
my
tangkap Amin tau
priority.
dulu.
But eventually it is going to be because I'm going to try and eventually I've got so many businesses going on. I need to consolidate them, and that's the best platform to consolidate all your businesses and network is LinkedIn when it comes to businesses. So I need to do that. But most of my businesses are very entertainment based, so that's why I'm on other social media. That's the only reason I'm doing that.
Cool stuff. I learned a lot from today's session. I think for me personally, I really like JJ's point on the USP side, and how he started, right? And what I really like about his advice is that in the beginning, he copied a lot of people just to find his mojo, and then after that, he just probably he, that's when it's a process of self discovery, right? And I think
Of
even until
course.
today, it's a continuous process as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for the reminder for that, JJ. Nini, your side, lessons learning from today.
Wow. I think my favorite one would be when JJ spoke about, sound. And then, it reminded me of we are all human beings, right? There are so many different types of branding that big brands are putting out there, which is not difficult to implement, even for a nano business, even what more micro businesses, right? You have the sound, you have your visuals, you have smell. All these things would create strong branding and messaging, and it can be done. It doesn't involve a lot of money, right?
Yep.
So thank you so much for that reminder, JJ. Over to you, Adelina.
Yes, awesome. I love that. Whenever we talk about the whole smell in branding, then I think of our famous Amos. I think about L'Occitane. You pass by, you're like, I know this place. I will follow the smell. Or you go to Lush, I will follow the smell to go to the shop.
That's why
Oh, that's
you
me
notice
anyway.
you notice most famous Amos is near elevators or escalators.
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
because of that, the smell.
Mhm.
Strategy, free smells. They even put it there. So
Yep.
today, my biggest takeaways is, yes, remembering that smell is is also a tool that can be used for your branding. Secondly, is the bullseye. I love that you target one specific people, because people are so afraid, right? To like, no, but the market's so big, but why target one small one? So targeting that small people, and then it expands, because these people are going to be your ambassadors, the ambassador of your brand, because they believe in you. So then they'll and spread the word for you and help you with that. And we spoke about that also in previous episodes with word of mouth and also the influencers, right? And then also number three was just, figuring out what is it in your brand that you're okay with. So even if people give you feedback, you see, is it aligning? Yes, I thought this would be a problem. Um, and now that this person or several people have mentioned it, all right, so this is something that we can push up to the priority list to implement and further strengthen the brand that we have. So
Yep.
those are the things that I took away from today. So many things, so I think we can go on forever.
Sorry, yeah. You bring JJ on, he talks too much.
Lovely. So guys, even if
Not
you
too
go
much
to
lah.
the laundry, you go to the laundry. If he's there, you won't even realize your laundry will be done.
I have marketing students who come in here and let me check their work while they do the
Wow.
laundry. And then I sit down, discuss with them, and then they're like, "Oh, it's done. Okay, bye. Thank you." And then they jump. So I've got
Habislah, you'll have a line of new students will be lining out in the in WhatsApp for marketing advice and
Yeah.
checking.
Aduh. See,
Okay, so we are at the end of our show today. So with that, guys, remember next week, same time, same platform, right? We'll go into episode 6 next week. Adeline, I want to say something.
Yes,
Yes.
before we forget, we've been talking about, finding clarity
Mm-hmm.
and, understanding what your brand is about, who your brand is. And we have a free worksheet to share with you. All you
Mm-hmm.
have to do is to join our Awesomebility Circle on Telegram. So that's the group that we have where you can get your free personal brand discovery worksheet. So there'll be a list of questions there. You can fill it up, understand yourself better, understand your brand better, and also discover who exactly is your customer avatar and how that you can use for your brand later on. So it's a free group. You don't need to pay to enter the group. And on top of that, you get a free personal brand discovery worksheet. So how awesome is that? Over to you, Amin.
Okay, we are done. We'll see you again next week. All right, same
thank you
time,
for
same
having me on.
platform. It's a
Of
Thank
legend.
you,
course.
JJ. Thank
We are
you,
humbled.
Adelina and
We are
Amin.
humbled by the legend. That's all it is.
Yes.
Okay, with that, thank you guys. We'll see you again.
Bye
Bye.
Thank you
bye.
guys for joining us. Bye. See you next week.